Welcome to your week ahead astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation for the week of October 15th through October 21st. This is for all zodiac signs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the timestamps down below so you can get right to your zodiac sign. But listen to the big stuff first so that you know how it applies first overall, and then how it will directly be impacting your natal suns. So I'm going to go over the big stuff for everybody, and then I will leave the timestamps for all the 12 zodiac signs, and there I will break things down into zodiac sign specific energy, and then I'll break everything down into the 3 decans so you know exactly how your natal suns are going to be impacted and what that means for your bottom line. So the timestamps will be in the description box below, and they will also be, I'll put it in the comment section as well. I hope everybody enjoyed that beautiful eclipse. I hope you got to enjoy it just as it is for what it is. The visual spectacle, I hope you were somewhere near where you could actually see it happening. I know that as I'm recording this, it's preemptive. It's before the 14th. So my family and I have plans to go and watch it. We already have our eclipse glasses so that our eyes are protected, and I'm super, super psyched. So please feel free to leave the comments below as to how you enjoyed the eclipse, and definitely tell me how you experienced the eclipse, the shifts in energy. If you experience them at all, I would absolutely love to know. Remember to subscribe to this channel so that we can grow here on Astrology Motivation, and then be sure to share this video with people that you also think would like it and enjoy it. So let's go into the big stuff. For October 15th through October 21st, Scorpio season is fast approaching, but not yet. It actually starts in the morning of October 23rd. And this is why I always tell you guys those toggle points at the beginning of the decans, you never really know, because sometimes Scorpio season absolutely starts on the 22nd, as early as the 21st, and then sometimes it'll start on the 23rd. So you never quite know where and about those timings at the beginning of and the end of each decan, which is why I tell you always it's important to listen to all 3 decans, especially if there's overlay in where you guys are, where your birthdays are. The best, most accurate is to always get a natal chart, which is free online, so that you can know exactly which degree your natal sun is located on. But in order to enjoy this video, all you really need to know is your birthdays, because I can estimate around which decan your sun lies in, and therefore what is impacting it. So we got a lot of stuff going on, and we have a few days that are quite poignant. So I'm going to go over the general stuff first, and then talk about the 2 days that I think will be in particular quite poignant. It's got to do with the moon and Pluto both times. So the sun is quite active this week. The sun is always active, but the sun is in opposition to Chiron all week long. It is going to be conjunct Mercury through the 17th, and then it's conjunct the South Node all week long as well. This really puts us into realization and understanding of stuff from the past that is coming up, that is making us confront it, and maybe even in some ways relive it, having to understand, or finally understanding, how the past and the pain that we've gone through has constructed our ego, including parts of it that are hindering us. Those will become very, very evident right now, especially around that eclipse when we were blocked out, when the sun was blocked out, and we don't have the ego to save us. There is that sense of unraveling that needs to be unraveled so we can start fresh and start new, before we built that sense of self to help us feel stronger where maybe we really weren't that strong. This is what those past events will bring up for us. We also have Mars trine to Saturn all week long, which is very almost militant energy. It's very structured, it's very certain, it's very determinant. It's almost by the rules, by the book, by the law kind of energy. And ironically, Mars is also square to Pluto through the 15th. That means on the 15th, Mars is going to be trine to Saturn and square to Pluto. Really interesting energy about how there's quite explosive energy, can be quite combative energy, but it seems to be encouraged or backed by laws and legalities. This is rule of dominance, and it's a very militant energy. Just want to put that out there while we break into things that are a little bit deeper. By the 19th of October, the sun is going to be trine to Saturn, which is a very powerful energy. It's an energy of certainty, self-certainty, and I think it's like with that solar eclipse, like you need to break the self down to rebuild it, to grow into something that is firm and knowledgeable of itself. And that's where we really see some really wonderful leadership or being self-possessed and self-responsible starting to emerge. Trines to Saturn, squares to Pluto, extreme force with authorization. That's what I put down. Yeah, that's what I put down. So, but that's in relation to a day that I want to review with you. So we also have Venus trine Jupiter all week long, which can be quite indulgent energy, fun and playful and jovial, feeling good about yourself. There's really no optimism like the optimism of Venus trine Jupiter or Venus sextile Jupiter. It's one of the most benefic energies in the sky, and so there's a lot to do, I think, with money or opportunity around finances or expansion or different kind of value systems that are growing, especially all over the world. This is also something we want to keep track of. In other words, opportunity knocks, right? And especially on a global sense, that with all this other like warlike energy in the air, there could be a lot of opportunity or financial opportunity driving it. We also have Mars in opposition to Jupiter. Now that is basically, that makes everything more exaggerated. You know what I just said about the combative energy, the militant energy of Mars square Pluto, Mars trine Saturn? Well, the fact that Mars is in opposition to Jupiter, that's really extraordinarily like super explosive kind of energy, very impactful. And that's from, so I said 1019, the sun conjunct Mercury square to Pluto. So from the 19th on, the sun is conjunct to Mercury and squares Pluto. So Mars will move out of the way after the 15th, but Mars will still be in opposition to, will start being in opposition to Jupiter at that point. So it leaves its square to Pluto and then goes in opposition to Jupiter, which means really exaggerated energy, very explosive energy, very dominant energy, very prominent and sure of itself, but I would just say basically kaboom. That's kind of what I think of when I think of Mars in opposition to Jupiter. But by the 19th, the sun is conjunct Mercury all week long. That's really intelligent energy, and it's very self-explanatory. It's very open. It's very honest energy. It's very easy to read. It's like information being distributed or being easy to find. An aha moment, like a light goes on. Square to Pluto, this becomes energy used to either dominate, control, or to take possession of or control over some other dynamic in your life. This aha moment of like basically you will be very self-certain at that point. You will be very, like, it's an energy of self-certainty, knowing what you want, and basically speaking up about it or going for it. So the 2 days that I want to draw your attention to are the 15th and the 21st. Both incorporate the moon, both feature the moon and Pluto. So let's talk about it. On the 15th, the moon is going to conjunct Mars. It's in opposition to Jupiter and it's square to Pluto. Extraordinarily explosive day, a very tough day in general, but especially if those of you born in the first decan of Scorpio, that's usually October Scorpios. This is when your birthday would be. This will be very volatile energy, a very volatile day. I would not take any risks with your personal safety on this day, and I would definitely warn for you to watch your anger and your temperament and how explosive that you can get. This is very reactionary energy, and you will feel unhinged throughout the day. You'll feel like a jitteriness, as if you just drank a whole pot of coffee, and not really knowing why, you'll feel it. It'll be running underneath you the whole freaking day. This is a very tough day, and I think especially globally, it could be a very deconstructive, explosive day. And then we have hold on a second, the 21st. So October 21st, which is the last day of this week, Moon has moved, and it's all the way in Capricorn, and the Moon conjuncts Pluto. So the Moon conjunct Pluto is very, very hostile. Well, not hostile energy, it's very emotional energy. It can be very sad energy, it's very moody energy. It's very extreme moods, extreme shifts in the moods. And once again, if you are born in the first decan of Scorpio or the last decan of Libra, that basically on the Libra-Scorpio cusp. So say October 19th through the 24th, especially those birthdays, whether you're Libras or Scorpios, doesn't really matter. Your natal suns are going to be square to the Moon conjuncting Pluto. And this could be a very tough day for you emotionally. It could make your moods fly all over the place. So it's definitely something that you might want to watch, because this could be when extreme endings happen, like moods that shift and arguments that happen that break up relationships or make you walk out of jobs. Like this is that level of moodiness or agitation or sadness that can overtake you. If you are somebody that is prone to depression already, I would really make this a self-care kind of day. All right, so all in all, my predictions for the week are a disruptive energy, a very explosive and game-changing kind of energy. There's a lot of like little bombs popping off, and I think that they needed to in order to kind of make room for the deconstruction or create the deconstruction to make room for the newness. So this is a volatile energy this week, pretty darn tough. I think Venus for the beginning of the week up to the 17th, Venus is also still in opposition to Saturn. So there is conflict and restriction when it comes to finances, as well as feeling good, being all sunshiny, even though Venus is trine to Jupiter all week long. So there is a tick of optimism there. We do have to get through the 15th, 16th, and 17th before we can actually start to see some flow or enjoyability going on here, but we are breaking through. There's major cracks that are falling down, and I would say over the next week, this week will be a game-changing kind of shift that you'll not only feel but start to see, because Saturn is highly active, which means we're going to be starting to see effects of this happening in the real world. It's not just an energetic shift. Walls will start to come down or start to be reconstructed in different places. So let's go to Scorpio. So Scorpio, I got to write down these times. What is going on in Scorpio? Well, for so long we had nothing going on in Scorpio, right? How many months was it like, yeah, nothing's going? Well, now Mars is there, and that's pretty powerful energy because that is one of your ruling dignitaries. Scorpio, Mars is going to be moving between 2 to 6 degrees Scorpio. That makes it conjunct all of you who are born in October. You have October birthdays. You are especially in the very beginning of that, so say October, say 23rd through like the 28th, especially you guys, it'll be really, really tight conjunction to your natal sun. This is tough energy. Mars conjunct the sun gives you very powerful energy, makes it very profound energy, but can also lead to horrible injury. It could also be an expression of pain or suffering, or lead you to be more extreme. So definitely self-care, count to 10 kind of week for you guys. This sense of making sure that you continue to steer the vehicle as opposed to allowing it to steer you, and this is difficult energy to steer, just an FYI. Let's talk about what's going on with your ruling dignitaries. So Pluto is your modern ruler. Pluto is 27 degrees Capricorn and very, very active right now. So anytime Pluto is very, very active, you guys can experience a major mood shifts, a major dominance issues, as well as extremes, going to extremes. So Pluto is going to be square to Mercury conjunct the Sun all week long. So that could be game-changing information coming to light, or a level of certainty that you have in your brain about what you know that you will not allow, you will not let it go. So especially in conversation, there could be for you guys just this energy of no, I'm telling you this is right. That kind of energy. And could that cause conflict? Certainly it could. We also have a square to Mars so really only the first day of this week. That's a very volatile day. Like I said, especially for Scorpio ones, I would just make that a self-care day. We also have a sextile to Neptune, which is long-term square to the nodes, and a long-term trine to Uranus. This is very breakthrough, kind of on the cusp of a changing humanity or humankind in general. Over the next decade, that will start to happen. Straight out of what's never existed before, because we've got that sextile to Neptune. But because now it's interacting more with inner planets, the Sun, Mercury, and Mars this week, that makes it a lot more profound. That makes it a lot more, that shit is going to start hitting home. Not only will you feel the energy shifts, but you will start to see and notice the changes in your world. Let's go on to Mars. So Mars is in Scorpio between 2 and 6 degrees this week. It is trine to Saturn, which is very productive energy. It's very legal energy, doing things by the law, by the book. It's also square to Pluto on the 15th. This could dominate, like dominating energy that dominates, especially later on with Mercury conjunct the Sun square to Pluto. That's litigiousness. That's some lawyer shit. That's when like you get people and you dominate, or you try to dominate people by using your words or information that's brought to light. I'll tell you that right now. That's legal shit. And then we have Mars is trine to Venus all this week as well. Still, it's a looser, sextile. It's a looser sextile that also means virility, vitality, but because of that square to Pluto and all this other energy, this is kicking something into high gear. Just whether or not you can handle that level of like supercharge is ready or not. Here it comes. Just an FYI, Mars is also on the 21st, on the last day of this week, it'll start to form a loose opposition to Jupiter, which will make everything more frickin' extreme. So watch it. That's highly volatile. Now, it doesn't necessarily it's just going to be supercharged and always, like legitimately, Mars in Jupiter is like drinking a pot of coffee every hour on the hour. It's like caffeine crack kind of energy, and that's a very difficult energy to wrap yourself around. So it's almost like Jesus take the wheel, or a time to really kind of wrangle your faith, or put energy into learning or knowledge or philosophy. It's like mind-blowing kind of expansion. Rapid expansion you can't help but feel. So let's go into the decan Scorpio, shall we? So decan 1, Scorpio 1, this would be Scorpios whose natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Scorpio. You will know this when you get your natal chart. If you don't have your natal chart, that's fine. This usually correlates to birthdays between October 22nd and the 31st. Yes, this can toggle depending on the year. For example, this year, Scorpio season doesn't start until the 23rd. So at least in the United States of America, there will be no Scorpios that were born on October 22nd. It's all about where the sun is positioned. So it just really depends. But it's an estimate from October 22nd to October 31st, my Halloween babies. Amen. What's going on with you guys? Your natal suns are conjunct Mars, so it's almost like you're ground zero for this very volatile, pop-offish, crazy-ass energy. No judgment there, actually more of a warning. October 30th to the 31st. So if you guys have your birthdays near Halloween, October 30th, 31st, maybe even November 1st, all week long, it's like your natal suns are already in opposition to Jupiter, because Jupiter is now at 12 degrees Taurus, very, very close to the edge, much closer to the edge of the second decan in Taurus. So your natal suns are already in opposition to Jupiter, so highly volatile. However, your natal suns are not yet conjunct to Mars, so that offers a little bit of relief. Later on, toward the end of the week into next week, your natal suns will be in a very tight conjunction to Mars. But thank God, by that point, Mars will not be square to Pluto. So it's a little bit of, you didn't get all that all at once. But those of you born at the beginning of Scorpio season, I got to say, very, very rough day on the 15th. Very tough. You know, Mars square to Pluto is tough energy to begin with, but when it's conjunct your natal sun, holy shit. This will kind of lead you into wanting to dominate. But I got to tell you, when you're aligned with Mars instead of Pluto, the other side wins, but you won't fight. You won't stop fighting easily. So this is very volatile energy that you're really going to have to be very, very self-aware with. Your natal suns are trying to Saturn. That's a long-term trine. That's been that way. It'll continue to be that way through February or March of next year. Overall, that means over the course of this year, there's a lot of harmony that's existing in your work. It's like your career or your place in the adult world is opening up. So that's a year-long energy that's kind of very helpful. Like I said, on the 15th, this is very difficult energy, especially for you October 22nd, 23rd B-days. If you're born between October 21st and October 22nd, the cuspers, so Libra, Scorpio cusps. On October 21st, especially the cuspers, explosive revelations will start to happen. I think that's much to do with your conjunction to the sun at that point, because the sun will be conjunct to your natal suns. And there will be still that square to Pluto between your suns and Pluto, as well as Mercury being involved. So explosive revelations is what I wrote down. That's on the 21st, FYI. So Scorpios, let's move on to Scorpio 2s. If you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Scorpio, that's you guys. This usually correlates to birthdays between November 1st and the 11th. Your natal suns are already in opposition to Jupiter. They have been, they will continue to be, and as of the 20th of this week, they are sextile to Venus. This is very powerful, optimistic energy, lots of fortune and lots of expansion in terms of money and romance. So that's by the end of this week, a major growth for you. And by the end of this week, Venus will be out of Saturn's kind of restraint as well. So this could be major breakthroughs financially or romantically for you. Nice energy, supercharged energy could really help out a lot. Let's move on to Scorpio 3s. So if you know your natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Scorpio, that's you guys. This usually correlates to birthdays between the 12th and the 22nd of November, in and around there. Your natal suns are in basically long term. So this is long-term trine to Pluto, sextile to Pluto, trine to Neptune, and opposition to Uranus. It has been this way all year long. It will continue to be for a couple of more years. It will continue to be true. So especially those of you who are on the Scorpio Sagittarius cusp. So, I mean, it's kind of like same old, but you'll start to feel all the crazy, chaotic energy all around you. Also, this means that doors could be opening for you because of all the volatility going on around you. So could be some major breakthroughs that help you get ahead, or self-actualization that helps you realize and have a lot more confidence in who you are, and who you are as an individual. You know, it's sort of like your freedom, being free and staking claim to your own identity. That's over the next couple of years. Big fucking week for you guys. Please leave your comments below. Let me know how this energy is impacting you, how you're experiencing it. Share this video with somebody that you know would like it. And I hope that you're subscribed to this channel. Please subscribe if you're not. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the videos. All right, let's move on to Libras. We have Libra energy. So, Libra. What is going on in Libra? Still a lot. It's the last basically full week of Libra season. The sun is in Libra. It's moving between 22 degrees and 28 degrees Libra. You're just coming out of that huge eclipse, and there's a lot of shifts and changes that are happening through your energy. You also have Mercury moving between 19 and 29 degrees of Libra, and then of course the south node at 24 degrees. Lots of understanding, realization, and aha moments with regards to the past and or your partnerships or pain that you've experienced through past partnerships. What's going on with Venus? Well, Venus is still in Virgo. She is moving between 6 and 11 degrees. You know, Venus in Virgo is turned on by reliability, predictability, schedules, and consistency. So she's a lot more serious in Virgo than she usually is, but that could also be very helpful energy. Venus is trine to Jupiter most of this week, and then we have a semi-square to the Sun. We also have a sextile to Mars, and only through the 17th she's opposite Saturn. Highly active, like extremely active energy. She's basically making moves and making a lot of changes with a lot of confidence and certainty in herself. The semi-square to the Sun could just be like, you know, getting fed up with certain stuff, feeling a certain way that could add more as an inspiration to push this energy forward as opposed to a discouragement. And as far as that opposition to Saturn, as it ends by the 17th. So honestly, 17th on, I think you'll feel a big push or ahead or uptick in, at the very least, your sense of self or your sense of self-worth. So let's get into the decans, shall we? If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Libra, you guys are Libra 1. This correlates to Libra's birthdays, basically September Libras. I would estimate between September 22nd and October 1st. That would be you guys. Your natal suns are in a long-term quincunx to Saturn, so basically just trying to get your shit together and figure out how you want to grow up, how you want to mature, facing a lot of maybe debts or trying to fucking work out a lot of legalities in your life. That'll go through all this year. It's trying to make you stronger and trying to prepare you for basically put your big boy, big girl pants on. That's all year fucking long. And yeah, it's not going to be the easiest of years, but you could also gain a lot from it. And that's pretty much it for you guys. What about Libra 2s this week? So if you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Libra, that's you guys. That correlates to birthdays between, say, October 2nd and, say, the 11th. Your natal suns have been in opposition to Chiron for quite some time. And then we also have a quincunx to Jupiter. So there is this energy of wanting to fix things or feel better. Kind of being disruptive in a way, like feeling like I can't do things fast enough, or why am I not good enough to grow or to learn. It's also giving you a kick in the ribs to kind of try to look for other outlets or other options in order to facilitate growth and expansion. So this could actually spur on your curiosity, having to figure out and deal with issues or suffering, like the way that you have just been challenged or felt like your own value has been challenged, or that nothing you do is good enough. This could actually kind of be a week where you get really frustrated, you feel really frustrated, but this will be more long-term for you guys, since Jupiter is still in retrograde, will be in retrograde through the end of this year, and then it'll come back around again. This is an energy of just like trying to figure out like what to do about how you feel about these restrictions. It won't be forever, but honestly, you're right, it is a very frustrating energy, and definitely a time to learn and hopefully heal. Let's go on to Libra 3s. So Libra 3s, well, your natal suns are getting a lot. because the sun and Mercury are there. So let's go over it. If you know your natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Libra, this would be you guys. You guys just experienced this huge solar eclipse that we had. So let's talk about it. Your natal suns are conjunct to Mercury, conjunct the sun, and of course conjunct the north node opposite the south node. Your natal suns are sorry, if you're on the cusp, your natal suns are square to Pluto. No, it's all of you. Your natal suns are square to Pluto. And if you are, say, born at the beginning of the third decan, so that would be birthdays around the 12th, your natal suns are going to be in opposition to Chiron as well. So you're dealing with a lot of stuff that's coming up from the past, especially maybe major pain that you went through the past in terms of partnership, who you are, your own personal identity, learning things, knowing things, understanding things that maybe had to be brought to light, having conversation. This could be very healing energy, but it's definitely very like mind-blowing energy. It could be also very empowering energy, but it will initiate and catalyze major shifts in your life. That new moon was just the beginning. For the next 6 months, this begins a huge shift and transition in who you are, how you live your life, how you fall in love, and etc., etc. So, FYI, you let me know how this energy is impacting you guys. I love you so much. Please remember to like this video, share it with people you know you would like it too, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I love you guys. All right, Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, what's going on in Sagittarius? Not much. Though midweek of the moon, say around the 21st, 20th, 21st, the moon is going to be, no, earlier than that. I apologize. So say midweek, the moon will be conjuncting all of your natal suns. Hold on, let me get the fucking dates. I gotta think about it. What does it mean? When the moon conjuncts your sun, your natal sun, it just gives you a feeling of wholeness and completeness to who you are, a feeling of self-certainty. I don't know the exact dates, and I apologize. Let me try to think of it. So we have the moon in Scorpio on the 15th, 16th, 17th. So it'll be the 17th, 18th, 19th, respectively. Decan 1, 2, and 3, 17th, 18th, 19th. You guys will be experiencing the sun, the moon conjunct your natal suns, which will be kind of just, you usually have more confidence or more a feeling of wholeness and completeness and self-certainty when the moon conjuncts your natal suns. But we'll get into it. 17th, 18th, 19th. Yeah, moon. Okay. So what's going on with, so the moon will visit between those dates. But aside from that, no major players in Sagittarius. So none of your natal suns will be conjunct any planets except for the moon on those respective days. Jupiter. What is going on with Jupiter? Well, Jupiter's still in Taurus, and it's still in retrograde, and it is at 12 degrees Jupiter. Your natal suns are semi-square to Neptune. By the 21st, they will be in opposition to Mars, or Jupiter will be opposition to Mars and trine to Venus. This is very creative energy and sort of I want to make an impact kind of energy, and not taking any bullshit and wanting to kind of almost, if you have to, force shit on people. So I'm not going to say that your patience will be, not that you have patience usually anyway, but to say, Sagittarius, your patience will be tried a lot this week, and it'll be a lot easier to get on your last nerve this week. Right, especially with people who have blockheads, and are not really capable of being creative or expansive. A trine between Jupiter and Venus means beautiful energy when it comes to romance, as well as profitability and finances. A lot of optimism there. Very creative energy as Jupiter forms a semi-square to Neptune. Lots of dreams, lots of curiosities around religion and faith that are starting to sort of draw you in and interest you. And that opposition to Mars that begins by the very end of this week is some shit. That's going to make you real pop-offish and to like lose lose your temper a lot. Just an FYI. Let's go to the decans. Okay, so Sagittarius, if you know your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Sagittarius, this is, you guys are Sagittarius 1. This correlates to Sagittarius birthdays that basically are in November, say November 22nd, maybe through the 1st of December. That would be you guys, so Scorpio cusps. Your natal suns are sextile to Pluto. So as all these changes start to crumble down around you, you guys can actually find opportunity in this, an opportunity sort of like to take over or take leadership or gain advancement. I'm just saying. Your natal suns, however, are square to Saturn, which means that's they've been for a long time. So you felt a lot of restriction when it comes to laws, rules, regulations, obligations. So you could be really pushing against it at this point. Also, through the 19th, your natal suns are square to Venus. Your natal suns sit right in between the Venus-Saturn opposition. So this could be just a tough time for you financially. Agitation, irritation, and a feeling of just being restricted or held back. That will leave. That will go by the 17th. And on the 17th, your natal suns conjunct the moon too. So there's a feeling of wholeness and more happiness that can start to come in by that point. Actually, your natal suns are square to Venus. So actually, on the 17th, that could be a very moody day because that means that the moon will also be square to Venus too. But at least you'll know who you are. Very frustrating energy for the first couple of days of this week. By the 19th, it should pass. Your natal suns will be sextile to the moon conjunct Pluto on the 21st. So that could be sort of like relieving energy, sort of breakthrough energy, energy that feels like, a pustule has popped, a sense of a release of the stress and the strain. Also, so to get emotions off your chest, it's a time to purge and confront toxicity, confront shit that has been hidden from you or kept from you, or be able to spring it upon somebody, surprise somebody with it. So, but it could actually work out for you because it's a sextile. So let's move on to Sagittarius 2s. If your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Sagittarius, this would be you guys. This correlates to birthdays between December 2nd through the 12th or the 11th or 12th. Your natal suns are going to be square to Venus from the 20th of December on. Squares to Venus really just sort of make you feel agitated and frustrated and maybe sexually, but it could cause tension either financial tension, or tension between you and your significant other. Just this sort of like you're rubbing each other the wrong way. There could be extra arguments in the air, or simply a sense of like ego playing ego, that kind of energy. It's not the best time to redo anything or schedule anything for beautifying the house or yourself. Things won't go well, and it will not be money well spent. Just an FYI. Your natal suns are in a long-term trine to Chiron, which means healing over the next year and a half. And then healing, especially physical pain, physical injury, physical suffering. And then we have a quincunx to Jupiter, which is really just gonna like be almost like a spur in the side to make you want to grow, make you want to expand, and maybe expansion may seem a little bit more painful, but ultimately it's trying to drive you forward and push you forward. It's on the 18th that the moon will conjunct your natal suns, which can be actually a a nicer day. You might feel a little bit more dreamy, a little bit more not emotional. It's a contentment. It's an emotional contentment day. So that can offer you a little bit of peace. All right, let's go on to Sagittarius 3s. If you know that your natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Sagittarius, that would be you guys. This correlates usually to birthdays between the 12th and the 22nd of December. Your natal suns are sextile to the south node and trine the north node. You're the ones looking forward to the future and really getting opportunities open up for you to help you move in that direction because of experience or where you come from or stuff from the past that's helping you out and making heading to the future a lot easier for you. Your natal suns are sextile to the current sun, which will bring confidence, charisma, visibility. This is a nice, helpful energy. And also sextile to Mercury. I would speak, I would talk, I would go out on that audition, go out on that interview. I would give that presentation. Like, this is a beautiful freaking day for correspondence and communications and presenting yourself all freaking week long, especially on October 19th, where the moon conjuncts your natal sun. You will feel really content with yourself, happy in and of yourself, and I think really be glowing big, really be just give people a sense of peace about you. There's a long-term square to Neptune, which is over the next couple of years, but honestly, guys, that's just making you a hell of a lot more creative and trying to push you outside of the box. Also trying to get you curious about your psychic energies and abilities, as well as faith, trying on different faiths. So as long as you are proactive when it comes to using this creative energy in you, could be very good instead of very distracting. And then your natal suns are going to be sextile to Mars conjunct the moon on the 15th. So the 15th, even though it's a very volatile, crazy ass day for you, can be quite revelationary and like offer a lot of revelations and a lot of revolutions when it comes to breaking through or breaking out. Maybe explosive anger that's needed to come out, or it's just fueling your sense of certainty in who you are to take charge of a situation. Could work for you. That's what sextiles do. They work for you. You find opportunities, or an opportunity comes to you because of the way you can handle volatility. Either or. So you let me know in the comments below how this energy is impacting you guys, and please share it with somebody that you know you would love, that would love this too. Don't forget, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I love you guys, and I will see you in the videos. Okay, so now we move on to Capricorn. Capricorn. So what's going on in Capricorn? Pluto's at 27 degrees, and it's actually posting stationary. It's actually direct right now. It's direct. Yay! So Pluto is direct, but it's still at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So that means Cap 3s conjunct Pluto. You have a very powerful presence about yourself. Ain't no one gonna fuck with you. Saturn, your ruling dignitary, is still at 0 degrees Pisces. Saturn is posting stationary this week. It will actually go direct by November 4th. So it's not going to regress anymore, retrograde back into Aquarius. It won't. It will stay in Pisces at 0 degrees. Saturn is trine to Mars, and it's trine to the Sun, and it's trine to Mercury, and it's trine to the South Node and sextile to the North Node. This is very productive energy for you, especially this week, especially in terms of presentation and talking, taking tests, being confident in what you know and how you present what you know. This is a beautiful energy for progress and making shit happen. I'm just saying, this is very supportive energy when your ruling dignitary is in these positions. This is nice energy. The law working for you, authority working for you, having personal authority, speaking with authority, presenting yourself with authority. All of those things are flavored really nicely right now. And after the 17th, when that opposition to Venus breaks away, there's going to be optimism returning back to, and really not going to be many restrictions. So this is nice energy for Saturn. It's productive. Let's go into the decans, shall we? We'll start with Capricorn ones. So this would be, if you know your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Capricorn, that's you guys. This correlates to December Capricorns, Christmas babies, New Year's babies, all y'all. Anyone born between, say, December 22nd and the 31st of December would be around that time, Capricorn ones. So your natal suns are sextile to Mars. They are sextile to Saturn. They are trine the North Node. You are moving fucking forward. And this is a huge leap forward for you guys this week because of the sextile to Mars and the sextile to Saturn. Beautiful energy pushing you forward and giving you the vitality, the confidence, and the energy to do so. Take possession of your life. Head in that direction. You're also, through the 20th, trine to Venus. So this is harmony when it comes to financials and being able to push forward financially, looking good, feeling good. You will present yourself very well. Sexy time, very virile time, could be a very passionate time for you. I like this fucking week for you. I'm just going to say it. The sextile to Mars on the 15th, your natal suns are going to be sextile to the Mars conjunct the moon on the 15th. So in the midst of all this crazy, chaotic, pop-offish, angry-ass energy, it's going to work for you. There's going to be opportunities that open up because of it. So this is real knowing who you are and not letting anybody get one over on you. And then you have a long-term square to Pluto. So the Pluto conjunction to the moon on the 21st. The 21st could be the only day that really gives you much trouble this week because there'll be a lot of mood shifts and a lot of mood swings and a lot of volatility there. Just an FYI, you could use that as a self-care day. All right, let's move on to Capricorn 2s. So if you know that your natal suns are between 10 and 19 degrees Capricorn, you guys are Capricorn 2s. This correlates to birthdays in and around January 1st through the 11th, about there. So your natal suns are in a long-term square to Chiron, which is coming from a Cancer 2. It's frustrating. It's going to bust your fucking balls and make everything feel extra hard, and it is fucking extra hard on you. You guys also have a semi-square to Saturn. That's going to make you feel like, am I ever fucking good enough? Is it ever gonna give me a break? Not this year. You're really going to have to wait for that energy to be relieved after February of next year. And it will. It absolutely will. Not the square to Chiron, but relieved from that semi-square to Saturn will help out a lot. And just in terms of the square to Chiron, to confront those hardships, this is your training ground over the next year and a half to prepare you to be stronger and be a better version of yourself, because after that point, you'll have made room and be prepared to usher in more abundance after that square to Chiron has dissipated. Through the 20th, from the 20th on, so the last 2 days of this week, your natal suns will start to trine Venus. And then there's just this growth or optimism that comes over you. Romantic, could even be financial. This sense of some good news and some healing that's finally breaking through and coming in. So that's a very helpful energy for you. You're also trine to Jupiter, which is going to make everything that you're experiencing bigger and like more optimistic, bigger and better. So especially after the 20th, that's going to be really nice energy for you to sort of feel happy and feel playful, get good news, feel optimistic, feel romantic, expand, broaden, grow, feel good about yourself, feel more beautiful, could even get some good financial breakthroughs coming on, healing, easement, like something like that. Or when it comes to your relationships, great time toward the end of the week to date. You're going to feel good, you're going to look good, you're going to be appealing if you're not trying to be. Great way to put in like a new business transactions into action, anything around that time after that date. You'll be very fortunate around that time. let's go on to Capricorn 3s. So if you know your natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Capricorn, you guys are Capricorn 3s. This usually correlates to birthdays between January 12th and the 22nd. So your natals, you guys are conjunct to Pluto. So when the moon is conjunct to Pluto on the 21st, a really fucking emotional day for you. But let it out. You got to purge those toxins. It's going to be tough, but it's necessary. Purge those toxins. You need it. Like bringing out a dirty rag. It's for cleansing. Your natal suns are square to Mars. So on the 15th, this is really important. Your natal suns are going to be square to Mars as it conjuncts the moon. This is a real volatile day for you. Real fucked up shit. You could get in a lot more arguments about dominance, about who's in control, butting heads, and super, super volatile energy that could lead to injury. Please, please, please take care of yourself on the 15th. FYI. So, your natal suns are sextile to Neptune long term. This is creativity and mental and psychic expansion. Also development of interest and how you can grow your energy through learning about religion and faith. We also have a long-term square to the North Node. Square to the North Node and South Node. So this is a turning point in your life. You're going to start to see, even though it may feel uncomfortable, that you don't like what you used to like. You're more interested in different aspects of your character and who you are and where you live. Your likes will start to change. This is a maturation period for you where the major challenges will be letting go of your past and what you always were and accepting what you are becoming. That's over the next couple of months. And then you have a long-term trine to Uranus. You guys are pretty much at ground zero here with the Pluto, Neptune, Uranus with like tag team that they're tagging out. I mean, so I think you just have a lot of insights here when it comes to growth and expansion and seeing dynamic changes in yourself and in your life, the way you think and how you identify or what you identify with, or your own personal sense of uniqueness. This is really mind expansive energy, curiosities. Let yourself learn and grow and develop over the next decade. I love you guys like crazy. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and that it's helped you. Please remember to subscribe here and help this channel grow. And let me know how this energy is impacting you. Hopefully I'll see you in the videos over on Born Without Boundaries. I love you guys. See you in the videos. Aquarius. Okay, so what is happening in Aquarius this week? And once again, this is the week of October 15th through the 21st of 2023. What is happening in Aquarius? Well, nothing. Nothing is really happening in Aquarius. But there are things that are happening to Aquarius or impacting your ruling dignitaries. So what are your ruling dignitaries? We have Saturn, of course. So we'll start with Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces at 0 degrees. It's actually posting stationary because it's going to go direct by November 4th. So it's not going to retrograde out of Pisces. It's going to stay at that 0 degrees. It is trine to Mars. Saturn trine to Mars is really definitive. It's almost very, very sure of itself and very militant. It's almost draconian energy, but there's a trine there, right? It means they're getting along, like they're working together very nicely. It's very kind of like a takeover kind of energy, as in I really truly believe all of my personal authority and I'm going to put it to action. And then we have Saturn that is trine to the Sun and trine to Mercury, which is also very productive energy, very sure of itself, very self-knowledgeable, very authoritative, but in a sense of like, it's like taking on personal responsibility, being very self-assured in your personal authority, and like sort of taking yourself seriously, not in an arrogance way though, it's actually good leadership energy, very much so. And then we also have that trine to Mercury, because Mercury and the Sun, of course, they're conjunct each other all week. So Mercury conjunct the Sun is already very bright and articulate energy and knowledgeable energy. The fact that that's also trine to Saturn means it's also very legal. It's also, it's just this energy of the legalities, having the legalities, discovering the legalities of things, the way things, the procedure of things, a certainty of the self, a certainty of how to proceed, move forward, and do it by the books and by the law. And then we also have Saturn trining the South Node and sextile to the North Node. So it certainly is, there's this easement with where it has come from and a conscious effort, movement toward the future. So this is really taking charge and making progress and moving forward kind of energy. Now, what is going on with Uranus? Well, Uranus is largely in long-term aspects. So there's no aspects with Uranus, between Uranus and inner planets right now, so it's not making any immediate impact, but it's still influencing the long term through its trine to Pluto, as well as its sextile to Neptune. This is recreating humanity, recreating how we live here. This is huge leaps forward, or at least technological leaps forward. However, on the 21st, and we talked about this in the big stuff, which is why I tell all you guys to watch the big stuff, right? You've got to know that reference point. On the 21st, Pluto is conjunct the moon. And that conjunction between Pluto and the moon is a very emotional one, extremely emotional, extreme emotions. And Uranus is trine to that. So there is a sense of feeling your own self, your own sense of personal authority to be able to feel what you need to feel, or having emotions that come out that actually help to heal you or balance you out. This is what Uranus is experiencing on the 21st. Uranus is still in Taurus, and it is retrograding from 22 degrees to now officially 21 degrees. It moves really slowly, but we'll see it move, shift back another degree this week. So, Aquarius. Let's go into the decans, shall we? If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Aquarius, you guys are Aquarius ones. This correlates to birthdays between, say, January 22nd and the 31st. Your natal suns, if you are at the cusp, so only Capricorn cusps, so 22nd, 23rd, around there, if that's your birthday, of 22nd, 23rd of January, if that's your birthday, your natal suns are still sextile to Neptune, and you are still conjunct to Pluto, which means that on the 21st, you will also experience the conjunction to Pluto, which will simultaneously be square to the Sun conjunct Mercury. So there is this major emotional outpouring because of conflict about something that you discovered, including maybe the way you have to defend yourself, stick up for yourself, words that have to be said. Those things can really rupture around the 21st. All week long, Aquarius ones, not the easiest week for you, because all week long your natal suns are going to be square the current sun, which can really kind of, not all week long, I'm sorry, by the end of the week, by the end of the week, so that would be, say, the 19th to the 21st, your natal suns at the cusp. This is you, January 22nd, 23rd, babies. Your natal suns are going to be square to Mercury and square to the Sun by the end of the week. The Sun and Mercury are conjunct, remember, which is really brilliant energy. But the fact that they're square to your natal suns, there's stress. It's almost like somebody's forcing you to recognize something, especially things about yourself, to become conscious of it and maybe even have to stick up for yourself. Anytime there's any square to Mercury, this is not a great time to sign paperwork or do anything legal or have any kind of important documentation signed or conversations. Just an FYI. Your natal suns are, all of your natal suns are square to the nodes, which means you are not, I'm sorry, once again, no, not all of your natal, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, natal suns are square to the nodes. So This is more those of you at the cusp, right? If you're conjunct to Pluto, then you're also square to the node. Your natal suns are also square to the nodes. That means that for you guys, there is a shift in your sense of self, in your consciousness, in your awareness and your understanding of who you are and how you walk on this in this world. So you'll start to see over the next couple of months, which is how long this aspect will last, a change, like liking things you never thought you'd like, liking the opposite of what you used to like. It's almost like a progression toward more maturity. You're starting to shift. You also, and this is big, and this is for all of you, not just my cuspers, all of you. Your natal suns are square to Mars all week long, and that's a tough energy. I'm just going to say it right now, especially on the 15th when the moon conjuncts Mars. This is going to be a very rupturous day. It's going to be an upsetting day. It could be angry day. You're easily frustrated. You're easily defensive, easy to argue, or you're dealing with people who are super excited or super frustrated or super angry. So it's not a day to really allow yourself impulsivity. You've got to have to really watch the impulsivity and watch the impulsivity from others. You could be doing a lot of damage control that day. Try to remain as calm as possible and as out of any kind of conflict as possible. But it's a tough day for you, especially on the 15th, because you're dealing with really emotions that can't be controlled or are going to be very difficult to control. But all week long, your natal suns are square to Mars. This increases the likelihood of injury. This increases the likelihood of pop-offishness and impulsivity. All week long, this is something for you to be aware of, and I would say get ahead of it by being physical, but you could also push yourself too far physically and do something that actually injures you or makes injury more likely. So just be conscious of the tension. And if you feel that kind of agitation beneath the surface, that's where it's coming from. It's coming from the square to Mars. Let us move on to Aquarius 2s. So if you know that your natal suns are between 10 and 19 degrees Aquarius, it's in the second decan of Aquarius. This correlates to birthdays that are usually between, say, February 1st and the 10th. Your natal suns are in a semi-square to Neptune, which means it could be stimulating creativity, but maybe to the point of distraction. Just watch for those inklings. It's a little bit, just having a little bit more psychic poking going on. We also have a sextile to Chiron, which is long term. That means healing, and it means being inspired to heal yourself while healing others and improving situations. You've experiencing that for a long time, sticking up for injustices, things that have gone wrong. This will be main inspiration for you. You also have a square to Jupiter, which means big-headedness, getting ahead of yourself. It's definitely optimistic energy, but could also be, you're moving too fast for yourself. So that's something to be aware of over these coming months. But this week in particular, it's the quincunx to Venus that will affect you, I think, the most, because she is an inner planet, and your everyday, there could be a lot of frustration or a lot of agitation that spurs you on to make moves or to want to take action, whether it's financial distress or tension in your relationship. There's just some stuff that kind of stuff is going to bring you to a heightened sense of attention, because you need to pay attention to it. You need to either fix stuff, solve problems, or make improvements. FYI. Aquarius 3s. If you know that your natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Aquarius, you guys are Aquarius 3s. This correlates to birthdays between, say, the 11th and the 19th of February. That would be you guys. We have you guys with a sextile to the North Node, which means you are future focused and looking for opportunities, open to opportunities and interested in opportunities, where you're making more conscious effort to define your own life. Trine to the South Node means there's an easement with your past, an acceptance of your talents and skills and how to apply them to where you're headed in the future. So this is really nice energy. We also have a helpful trine to Mercury all week long, which makes you very different than Aquarius ones, because those squares are very different than trines. Trines mean you will speak with ease, you will speak with confidence, people will listen to you very easily, information will flow very nicely. This is a great time for you to sign important paperwork or have important conversations. You also have a trine to the sun. This is absolutely beautiful energy for you as well, because it will help with confidence. It will help with courage. It will help with feeling good and being seen and being validated and recognized. All of those things. So this is a helpful energy for you this week. We also have a long-term square to Uranus, which is interesting because it is your ruling dignitary. You're going to be hyper-stimulated for the next year or so. Hyper-stimulated to assert your own individuality and independence and not let anybody predict you or tell you who you are. This could cause clashes, but ultimately it is what it is. You're starting to learn your own personal sense of self and you're starting to establish it. So you let me know in the comments below, Aquarius, how this energy is impacting you. If you can relate, definitely share this video with people that you know would think it was helpful. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's move on to Pisces. So, Pisces, what is going on in the zodiac sign of Pisces? We have, hold on a second. We have Saturn at 0 degrees, posting stationary, 0 degrees Pisces, and then we have Neptune at 25 degrees. What is going on with Neptune, and we're also going to review what's going on with Jupiter. They're both your ruling dignitaries in one way or the other. Jupiter is your traditional ruler. It definitely still impacts you. If you don't believe me, just think about how much you really love to travel, because you know you do. The only other sign that likes to travel as more stereotypically to travel as much as Piscean energy are Sagittarians, who are ruled by Jupiter. So there you go. You like to expand. You like to learn about different people and different cultures. You have a natural curiosity about growing yourself by expanding and having a lot of friends and getting to know people from foreign countries and all of those things that they could add to you, foreign cultures especially, that it could add to your life. A natural curiosity in that way. So that's where Jupiter continues to influence. So what is going on with Jupiter? What's going on with Neptune? Well, with Jupiter is in Taurus. It's at 12 degrees Taurus. It is semi-square to Neptune, which is interesting because your two ruling dignitaries are kind of agitating each other. And then you have an opposition by the 21st, so by the end of this week. Your Jupiter is going to be opposite Mars. Now, this could be when things get explosive or hot-headedness is more likely. This could be things taken to the extreme, and legitimately kaboom happens a lot with this energy. Globally, that could mean major explosions, literally. We're having a lot of conflicts around the globe right now, but ultimately this is when major passion ignites. And then we have a trine to Venus. So trine between Jupiter and Venus is one of the most optimistic energies ever. That's the only thing I think that is making the opposition to Mars not scare me so much, because Mars and Venus are also sextile to each other. So this could just mean just rapturous passion. This could mean rapturous passion over some sort of affair or sexual interaction, but definitely things will be exaggerated at this point. Then let's go. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but ultimately it's a lot. And then we have Neptunian energy. Where is Neptune? It's at 25 degrees Pisces. So it is conjunct to all Pisceans who are in the third decan, whose birthday is at the end of Pisces season toward mid to late March. This really can correlate to a lot of dreaminess and a lot of psychic energy. It can also accumulate in a lot of mucusiness, more need to, watch your glands, also a sense of wanting to be around the water more often. So this is just something to be aware of. Neptune is semi-square to Jupiter. What does that mean? It just means exceptional creativity to the point of distraction. It also means volumized psychic energy or psychic ability, even stuff you can't explain. We have a sextile to Pluto. It could also mean that things like religion starts to clash with things like culture. Culture clashes could happen around this time, or definitely just a sense of trying to figure out where your belief systems are. We have a sextile to Pluto between Neptune and Pluto for many years. That's, I think, the next 13 years that's going to be in existence. This is very innovative energy, especially when it comes to nuclear energy. This could also be innovative energy when it comes to anything that has to do with water. There's something here that is shifting and changing. When it has happened over the past 100 years, it's happened twice before, and there's always major technological breakthroughs, especially and usually around nuclear energy. So that's a long-term thing. That's not gonna, you're not gonna maybe notice changes right away, but it is going to reshape the globe over the next 13 years. Neptune is also going to be sextile, of course, to Pluto on the 21st. Neptune is sextile to the moon conjuncting Pluto. Lots of emotions, which means it'll give you an opportunity to sort of expel a lot of emotions that may have become toxic, maybe that you need to share. People will take you seriously. If you have any psychic predictions around this day, people will actually listen, and it could actually prove to be quite an advancement for you if you're, in this business, right? But that's actually really positive energy for those of you in Pisces 3. That could work out very, very nicely for you. People listening to your ideas, people taking you and your ideas seriously. It's almost like, your ineffable talents being seen or being proven. And then we have Neptune long-term sextile to Uranus. This is extraordinarily innovative, like groundbreaking, Nobel Prize winning, like breakthrough energy over the next couple of years. Neptune is sesquisquare to the south node, which could bring up a lot of memories, especially in dreams. They're trying to tell you something, just an FYI. So Pisces 1, if you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Pisces, you guys are Pisces 1. That's your natal suns fall in the first decan of Pisces. This correlates to Piscean birthdays between, say, February 20th through the 29th, or the 19th through the 29th. That would be you. Could even be up to March 1st, depending on when Pisces season begins that year. Your natal suns are conjunct to Saturn. This actually makes you take yourself more seriously. It's very grounding energy and can make you a lot less sort of like fluid than you normally are, but it could actually impact you very, very positively. It's actually being able to exact your own personal boundaries, which might be very helpful to you. On the 19th, or by the 19th, by the end of the week, your natal suns will be trine to Mercury and the sun, only if you're at the cusp. So those of you born, say, the 19th, 20th, maybe the 21st of February, your natal suns will be trine to the sun conjunct Mercury. Brilliant time for self-expression, brilliant time to take tests, brilliant time to get a lot of great work done. Your mind will be precise, you will be heard, you will be seen, you will be listened to. Great time for an intake of information that you may have needed. This is a wonderful time for information and communication exchange. Go ahead and sign that important paperwork. This would be the day to do it. Your natal suns are also trine to Mars, which is nice energy. It means you have increased vitality and increased sort of agility when it comes to your body, a little bit more body confidence. You're feeling more confident and more increased competency when it comes to just physical fluency. Your energies are really functioning nicely. And then we have an opposition to Venus, but only through the 19th. So the last couple of days, by the end of the week, if say you're born around February 29th or March 1st, Your natal suns are actually going to be in opposition to Venus all week long, because even when she moves into the second decan, there's going to be this energy of you're still going to feel her. Your natal suns are still going to be in opposition to her. That could just be tough in terms of how you feel about yourself, how you feel about how you look. You could be having some struggle or some agitation, or at least dealing with a lot of financial issues or value issues, desire issues, stuff that may not be horrible, but you'll be hyper stimulated and you'll have to pay a lot of attention to it this week. On the 21st, your natal suns will be trine to Mercury, Mars, and the Sun. This is a very powerful day. What did I write down? Bear with me while I try to read my own handwriting. To heal things, fix things, to get information that illuminates a situation for you, influence things for the better. So you will be inspired to do so as your natal suns are trine to all of those inner energies, Mercury, Sun, and Mars. You will know how to take action, intellectual action, smart action, and action that actually makes an impact and people are paying attention to. So informed decisions, illumination, how to improve a situation, all of these things. This is a powerful day for you on the 21st. All right, let's move on to Pisces 2. If you know your natal suns are located between 10 and 19 degrees Pisces, they're in the second decan of Pisces. You guys are Pisces 2. This correlates to Piscean birthdays, say March 2nd through the 11th. Your natal suns are in a semi-square to Pluto, which is constant stimulation and not suffering any fools. Let's just put it that way. You could be finding yourself a little bit more court and sharp with people, right? Taking things a little bit more to the extreme. Just, it's almost like your patience can run thin. This is long term though. Your natal suns are sextile to Pluto. That's going to last for a while as well, a couple of months. So sextile to Pluto is lucky energy. It's fortunate, it's abundant, it's expansive, it's growth, it's positivity, and it's optimism. This will basically help you in any situation that you're in. It will help you remain positive and optimistic. So that's always helpful energy, and it could just be outright lucky. Could make you just lucky. This is a great time for you guys to travel if you can. Let yourself, I think you'll want to grow and you'll be extra curious and extra open to learning new things. And then from the 19th on, your natal suns are going to be opposite Venus, which can get in the way of, it could cause some financial distress or agitation. It could cause some sort of issues within your romantic relationships. This is not the best time to redo your hair or restyle your home. It's just not, because it could lead to insecurities. It's only for a week. It won't last that long. The end of this week into next week. Not that big of a deal, but just know where it's coming from when you feel it. And then we have Pisces 3. Let's move on to Pisces 3. Pisces 3, if you know your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Pisces, it falls in the third decan, or last 10 degrees of Pisces. These usually correlate to Piscean birthdays at the end of Pisces season. So anybody born between, say, the 11th of March through the 21st or 22nd, or the 12th of March through the 22nd, depending on the year. So if you're on the cusps, it's always good to listen to both decans, but it's in and around those dates. Your natal suns are the ones conjunct Neptune. This is very dreamy and very psychic energy, especially since your natal suns are also sextile to Pluto and sextile to Uranus. This is extraordinary leaps, extraordinary changes and expansions within yourself. This is opening yourself up to new ways of thinking or being or expressing yourself, putting yourself on new planes of existence. This is very transformative energy, formidable energy as well. Anything aligned with Pluto is going to be very powerful and give you an energy of power that you're not even trying to have. Certainly uniqueness when Uranus comes in, being like coming up with things that even surprise yourself. The level of creativity is off the hook here. On the 21st, your natal suns are sextile to Pluto, but Pluto conjuncts the moon. This will give you an opportunity to release feelings that you need to let go of in order to open doors for yourself. So it's like, let him go, let it go. Allow yourself to purge so that you can see things clearly, because there's actually opportunities right in front of you that you need to grab, but with all that crap in the way, you might not see them yet. This will be a nice purge that will clear the way for you. You have a quincunx to Mars on the 15th of this week. Mars is conjunct to the moon, so this could be a very volatile, extra agitated day. You could be more reactionary on this day and more pop-offish or defensive. Excuse me. And on the 21st, your natal suns are quincunx to the sun conjunct Mercury. On the 21st, your natal suns will be quincunx. So what that means is information that motivates you, that you won't be able to overlook, might come in on that day, Pisces. Just stuff that really awakens you and makes you realize things and stimulates you to take action once you realize it, will come in. That could be a really interesting or game-changing day to you, depending on what actually comes in. Please remember, if you like this information, share it with people you think would like it too. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe here on Astrology Motivation to help us grow. I love you, Pisces, and I hope to see you in the videos. All right, we have Aries. Aries. What is happening in the zodiac sign of Aries? So Chiron is at 17 degrees, and the North Node is at 24 degrees. We just went through a major solar eclipse, where your natal suns, if you're born at the end of Aries season, was in opposition to. This is really tremendous energy, because there will be a total solar eclipse in Aries in the second decan of Aries. I think it's April 4th. So major stimulation that comes once again. This is an opening of a cycle, or you're getting sort of a preview of the change or of the switch. It could be a preview through partnership, right? That ends up turning around and coming back to you singularly. Interesting energy. So what is happening with your ruling dignitary? Mars. Mars is in Scorpio, and it will move between 2 and 6 degrees this week. It is very active. So if you are super pop-offish or have energy that you can't explain, or you find yourself really getting angry easily, frustrated easily, Mars is super stimulated this week. This is why. Let's go through what Mars is going through this week. By the 21st, so by the end of this week, Mars and Jupiter will be in opposition. This is just flat out explosive energy, FYI. Mars is square to Pluto through the 16th, so the first couple of days this week, square to Pluto, and that actually comes into, we'll hold on to that, and it's trying to Saturn through the 20th. So really, Mars begins this week in a very powerful position of, I'm going to get shit done, and I don't care what people say, but people will listen to me anyway, because I've got I sort of got authority behind me. It's very militant energy. On the 15th of this week, the moon is going to conjunct, the moon conjuncts Mars while Mars is square to Pluto. So it's moon conjunct Mars square to Pluto. This is a particularly volatile, perhaps violently emotional day. Rage, anger, and extremes can be something that you end up dealing with this day. Please be aware of it. Keep the guns out of your hand. Don't. This is the day when I'm going to say to you guys, plain and simple, don't make any permanent decisions for temporary situations. Don't pick up the guns. Don't throw your fists. Don't say or do anything that will create a permanence out of a situation that would have just cleared itself. That's what kind of anger and rage can be sort of generated by the moon conjunct Mars square to Pluto. because Pluto is all about extremes and permanence. Once things change under Pluto, they don't change back. So this is definitely a time when you want to be as tranquil as possible all day long. All day long. Aries. Okay. Aries 1. Let's go into the decans. If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Aries, you guys are Aries 1s. This correlates to birthdays between, basically March Aries, between say March 22nd and the and say May 1st. No, April 1st. Yeah. So your natal suns are quincunx to Mars. Watch out on the 15th. This is going to really agitate you, especially those cusps. Because those of you at the cusp, say your birthday's around March 22nd, 23rd, you guys are sextile to Pluto as well. So you are very, very likely to take charge and make moves, and the volatility can be high on this day for you. All of you, the 15th, try to stay as tranquil as possible. FYI. Aries 2s. Aries 2s. If you know your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Aries, you guys are Aries 2s. This correlates to birthdays between, say, April 2nd through the 11th. Your natal suns are conjunct to Chiron, which means there's a hero complex there. There is a sense of, I need to make this world better for everybody. This sense of, I am inspired and see myself differently because of the struggle that I've been through. This can be very wonderful energy, transformative energy. But this week there is a quincunx to Venus, which means there's frustration when it comes to value systems, how valuable you feel, how valuable you think other people treat you, or it could be financial issues. So just know that and kind of sit back with a conjunction to Chiron and think, what is this trying to teach me? And how can I use this to develop myself, even though it might be extra hardship right now? Let's move on to Aries 3. If you know your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Aries, you guys are Aries 3s. This correlates, estimate of course, to birthdays between April 12th and the 22nd, in and around those dates. Your natal suns are conjunct the North Node and opposite the South Node. Your natal suns were the ones that were in opposition to this solar eclipse. So major sort of revelations about who you really are when the lights go dark, or where you need to be inspired and what changes need to be made. It could be a lot of stuff coming up from the past that you had to confront, that you had thought was gone but wasn't. Your natal suns are square to Pluto and in opposition to the sun all week long. This is a tough position to be in, I'm not going to lie. Not gonna lie. This is a tough position. This is a formidable position. This is life-changing energy, dynamic changes to who you are going on right now, especially between the North Node and the South Node, asserting your independence, trying to figure out how partnership fits in with that. On the 15th, if you're at the cusp between Aries and Taurus, so that would be those of you with birth dates, around say April 21st, 20th, 21st, 22nd. Your natal suns are going to be in opposition to Mars at this point. Only cuspers, watch out for explosive confrontations, because Mars is going to be conjunct to the moon this day. It's going to be square to Pluto, and it's all going to be conjunct south node. So this could really be something that makes you really angry coming up out of the past, and you would confront it in an explosive way, or it would try to confront you in an explosive way. Just an FYI. Also, on the 21st, your natal suns are in opposition to the sun conjunct Mercury, which means that there could be things that are unclear, communications you're not sure of, feeling like you're not being spoken well about, or your mind isn't clear. This is all, once again, square to Pluto, so watch out for disruptive relations or conversations that come up that really frustrate you and agitate you. It's going to be hard this week for all of you guys to control your temper. Anything you need to do, take a breath, take a leave of absence, more bubble baths, whatever you need to do, but don't put yourself in dangerous situations this week, or the situations where you know there's going to be confrontations. Just an FYI. I love you guys like crazy. I love you guys like crazy. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and share this video with anybody you think would love it, because I would love for this channel to grow. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the videos. All right. Taurus. First, we got to get back to Venus. I got to find her. Listen, I know she's in here somewhere. Okay, so Taurus. What is going on in Taurus? Oh, I didn't even write down the timestamp. I apologize, guys. So what is going on in Taurus? Well, we have Jupiter at 12 degrees Taurus. That means Jupiter is conjunct to the natal suns of those of you in the second decan of Taurus. And Uranus, that is actually finally officially shifting, retrograding back to 21 degrees Taurus. It's going to be retrograding between 22 and 21 degrees, but still, of course, in the third decan of Taurus. But for those of you born at the very end of the second decan of Taurus, which is usually around the 9th, 10th, 11th of May, your natal suns are already going to be conjunct Uranus, even more so now as it gets closer to skirting that edge of the second and third decan line. So if you feel a little bit more unique, a little bit more odd, or a little bit more like you require expression of your odd nature, or not wanting to fit inside boxes, or being interested in things that you normally wouldn't be interested in, this is all your natal suns beginning to conjunct Uranus. Let's get into the decans. No. First, let's go over Venus. So what is Venus doing this week? Venus is in Virgo. She's moving between 6 and 11 degrees Virgo. I write all my notes down. Bear with me. She is trine to Jupiter, which is very optimistic energy. I mean, like, that's optimism of all optimism. And then she's semi-square to the sun, which can be a little egotistical, which means you could be a little bit too optimistic about your own self-worth, but whatever. Then we have a sextile to Mars as well, so you could be a little too optimistic, or actually spurred to take that chance, especially when it comes to attraction or sensuality, or just going after somebody. This could be a very sensual week that you finally have the courage to take, right? Take those chances. And then Venus is in opposition to Saturn through the 17th. That is tough energy. It does make for a kind of sadness, but with Jupiter thrown in the mix, this is actually not going to be so bad. And by the end of this week, Venus will be out of that restriction. So there could be like happy days are here again. You could feel the air come back in the room. Taurus 1, let's go into the decans, guys. If you know your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Taurus, you're Taurus 1s. That correlates to birthdays between basically April Tauruses. So April 22nd through May 1st, that would be you guys. No, I'm sorry. That's Aries. I apologize. So, no. Yeah, I'm right. April 22nd through May 1st. That would be you guys. Your natal suns are trine to Venus through the 19th. This is very harmonious energy. It's absolutely freaking lovely energy. To be honest with you, this is really pretty and just gracious and sensual and optimistic and very beautiful. You'll, even without trying, be naturally more appealing. If you feel like preening yourself more, that's why you're naturally more attractive and more graceful and elegant. So you'll have a natural charisma about you that is very helpful energy. This could be a good time to balance the checkbook, work out some shitty stuff when it comes to finances. This is all very helpful energy. Your natal suns have a long-term sextile to Saturn. So Saturn is very active this week, but overall, that's like a year-long sextile, which means over the course of this year, Taurus 1s, when it comes to money or how you're building yourself out or building your career out in the real world, taking more personal authority over your life, there's a lot of doors that are going to open up for you over this year. So if it doesn't happen this week, it's happening over this year. And then your natal suns are in opposition to Mars through the 15th, or opposition to Mars all week long, excuse me. That's tough energy. I'm going to say that right now. Opposition to Mars is very virile energy. It's very excitable energy. Opposition to Mars, between Mars and your natal sun could lead to more injuries, more recklessness. This is a time to watch yourself. For you guys, Taurus, I will have to say though, with that trine to Venus, this could be more sexual than anything. So watch out for being a little too sexually aggressive. Just because you're feeling it doesn't mean somebody else is. Though you could have a little, it's a little bit gentler because Venus is helping out for you guys. But just be aware of yourself and what you do with your body this week. That's very important. On the 15th, the moon conjuncts Mars. And on this day, because your natal suns are in opposition to Mars, extra volatile, angry day, could be explosive and explosively defensive. With the trine to Venus, could be in defense of a loved one. Watch yourselves. Just an FYI. Let's go on to Taurus 2s. Taurus 2s, if you know your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Taurus, you guys are Taurus 2s. This correlates to birthdays between, say, May 2nd through the 11th or 12th, in and around there. Your natal suns are the ones conjunct to Jupiter and also trine to Venus through the 20th. This is very optimistic energy. If your birthdays are around May 2nd or May 3rd, yes, so early second decan birthdays, by the midweek, you'll start to feel the opposition to Mars as well. This is tough energy and causes aggression and injury. So watch yourselves in particular. Watch yourselves in particular, because right now, mostly Taurus 1s are getting the opposition to Mars, but you guys being right on the cusp of the first decan will start to feel it by the end of the week. So be wary. Just be extra aware of yourself. Your natal suns are also, like I said, trine to Venus through the 20th. So pay attention to what I said, really about becoming defensive or super agitated in defense of a loved one, or maybe because of a passion. This is just something you might want to be wary of, so that you don't go out of your house, but so that you understand why things have the potential to be a little bit more exaggerated than they are. Let's move on to Taurus 3s. If you know your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Taurus, you guys are Taurus 3s. This correlates to birthdays between, say, May 12th and the 22nd. So your natal suns are the ones conjunct Uranus and trine to Pluto. Your natal suns are also sextile to Neptune. This is long-term transformative energy, major, just major changes in your life, like expansion and growth and creativity and total transformation through evolution. Really mind-opening energy, extraordinarily creative energy. On the 21st, Pluto is going to conjunct the moon. This could be a day when you get the chance to relieve pent-up emotion in order to help yourself heal. When that gets released so that there can be a tranquility and a balance reestablished, it can be a very important day for you. Your natal suns are quincunx the sun conjunct Mercury conjunct the South Node. So there could be stuff from your past that's bubbling up and coming up, information or messages that are coming up, or suddenly light bulbs going off that you realize it, or you feel like you have to do something about it. I put down revelations or conversations, or revelations through conversations about a past relationship could stir up emotions or frustration. Just an FYI. Or if it's not an actual relationship, could be a Libra. that comes up and stirs shit up. Whatever this is, it's stuff from the past that comes up that sort of stirs the emotions. That's really could be all week long, because your natal suns are conjunct the sun. Quincunx the sun conjunct Mercury conjunct South Node. Since a quincunx is a minor aspect, it won't dominate your life, but it'll certainly stimulate you and get your attention. FYI, I love you guys like crazy. I hope that you liked this video and found it useful. Please remember to like the video and share it if you know somebody who you think would be enthusiastic about it. I'm trying to grow over here. My goal is to reach 11,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think we can do it. I love you guys so much. Feel free to leave your comments below, and I will see you guys in the videos. Bye. Gemini. Okay. This is your week ahead astrology forecast from October 15th to the 21st. So remember what I said about the big stuff, right? In Gemini, the zodiac sign, there's nothing going on. There's like zip, zero, zilch. This doesn't mean things aren't interacting with your natal sun. But there's nothing really happening in Gemini right now that's big. But what's going on with Mercury? A lot, because Mercury this week is conjunct the sun, which means it's super powerful and super confident. And if you have a lot of confidence in yourself, you'll kind of know this is residual energy from your ruling dignitary. However, there's also a sense of everything that you say is going to really be heard, really, really, really stand out. Everything that you write down, same thing. So know that, because there's a level of prominence, importance, and visibility to everything that you say and do right now. Mercury is semi-squared to Venus, which means there can be some sort of inspiration that comes from love or passion or desire or even financials, at least through the 20th of this week. And then Mercury is square to Pluto through the 17th of this week. So especially through the 17th of this week, so the first 3 days of this week, everything that you say is going to be powerful, impactful, and absolutely impact people permanently. So understand that that's a lot of energy and a lot of power. So watch what you put in your words this week. It's very good, and it can be very productive and very magical too. If you guys are into spell casting, this is when your words are super, super powerful. But manifesting, same thing. I would use words and mantras this week to get whatever reaction out of yourself or other people that you may want. Not that I encourage casting spells on other people. Manifestation should also always be done with the intent of improving one's own self. But I'm saying that this is going to be very powerful energy all week long. Mercury is also trine to Saturn from the 18th on. So I can tell you this right now. Especially say the 18th, 19th, 20th, extraordinarily powerful days where you will be inspired to take verbal, vocal, communicative action, and it will make an impact. Just an FYI. Great time to interview, great time to speak, great time to present yourself. FYI. Okay, so let's get into the decans, shall we? If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Gemini, it's in the first decan of Gemini. You guys are Gemini 1s. This correlates to Geminis essentially born in May. So anyone born May 22nd through, say, June 1st. That would be May Geminis, Gemini 1s. I wrote this down here. End of 1s all week long. So you guys are square to Venus. Gemini 1s. Your natal suns are square to Venus through the 18th. But if you were born anytime between, say, May 29th through the 31st, your natal suns are going to be square to Venus all week long. Square to Venus means that there's a lot of tension with desirability. There's a lot of tension with sensuality. There could be a lot of overindulgences. There can be a lot of like self-consciousness kind of happening. There could be sort of some tension when it comes to your romantic partnerships, or also tension because you're desiring one. There could also be tension with finances. So this is not a great week for promising fast cash or dating, or even redoing your look or redoing your aesthetic at home. It's just not a great time for that. It is a great time for self-care. Your natal suns are semi-square to Chiron, which means it's almost like you're being poked or nagged. Something, this is long term. This energy of the tough stuff, the challenging stuff, even the traumatic stuff for some of you could be needling you to get something done or do something or face it or learn something or know something. Just inspiration to grow through the challenges. That's all year long. There's also, for this whole year, a square to Saturn. Along with that semi-square to Chiron, it could just make you feel all year long like whatever you do, it's not good enough, and you're always challenged in doing it. It's a very frustrating year, but it's also stimulating growth through those challenges. This week, if you are at the cusp, so the Gemini cusp, this would be the Taurus Gemini cusp, so May 22nd, 23rd especially, your natal suns are trine to Pluto as well. Essentially, that is an easement and a healing energy. So what does that mean? Your natal suns will have a beautiful presence about you that you don't even have to ask about. This is a sense of you'll have a magnitude and magnetism to your energy that will inspire people to make changes. Is it a disruptive energy? Yeah, but it's gently disruptive, and it tends to win people's loyalties. That's for the next year as well, like well into next year. Let's say that. And then we also have quincunx to Mars. I wrote that down because especially on the I would say especially on the 15th of this week, you guys, there's a lot of tension around Mars because Mars conjuncts the moon. This could be, even the words that you say could make people angry or spur people to more anger, or you could be more easily frustrated and say more angry things. So just an FYI, especially on that day. Whereas on the 21st, when Pluto conjuncts the moon, your natal suns are going to be trine to this, and that could create an easement or a release and a healing through emotional release. Just an FYI. So I wrote down here 529, those of you born between the 29th of May and the 2nd of June, all week long, you are square to Venus. Okay, we already talked about that. So now let's go into Gemini 2s. If your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Gemini, that's you guys. That would usually correlate to anybody born between, say, the 2nd and the 11th of June. Your natal suns, if you're born, say, June 1st, June 2nd, your natal suns are going to be square to Venus all week long. Okay. So you guys should be aware of those tensions as well. And if you want to know, this is why I do not put the decan timestamps here, because they so overlap into each other. It's actually important to listen to the whole thing. I mean, seriously, people can't listen to freaking 8 minutes. I'm just saying, come on. So we have Gemini 2s. Gemini 2s, this is pretty stable energy with Chiron. There's a sextile to Chiron, which means it's almost like you're spurred to action to help and make sure that you improve your situation as well as others. And that's going to be a general energy that is interacting with your natal sun well into next year, and has been definitely all this year. It could even be beyond this year, actually. So, because Chiron moves very slowly. So there's just this energy of opportunity being discovered because of challenging experiences that you've gone through, opening doors for yourself and for others. And then, so what you once struggled with, you're now starting to see opportunities opening up for you because you struggled through them. From the 19th on, your natal suns will become square to Venus. So especially those of you born like the 1st or 2nd, this will be true for you all week long. But the rest of you, starting the 19th, Venus will be square to your natal suns well into the next week. Once again, that is tension when it comes to feeling valued. Self-consciousness could arise. It's definitely not a day to redo your look or your aesthetic, because it will be reactionary to get approval. There's less confidence in this energy, as well as there could be some agitation when it comes to overspending, overconfidence when it comes to your finances. Challenges may be arising from that as well. Just an FYI. Let's go on to Gemini 3. Okay, there's a lot more happening with you guys just because of where everything else is positioned. So if you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Gemini, this is you guys. This usually correlates, this is an estimate, but it usually correlates to June 12th through the 22nd. Now, I know that the 22nd usually begins Cancer season, but you'll still find some Geminis up through the 22nd as well. So let's get into this. All week long, your natal suns are trine to the sun and trine to Mercury. The sun and Mercury are conjunct all week long. This is very confident and competent energy. So especially for you guys, this will bring about an openness, a certainty, and people will be listening, and it will work for you. You can actually make great impact with helping people this week as well. Your natal suns are in a long-term trine to the South Node, because the sun conjunct Mercury is also conjunct the South Node all week. So there's a lot of easement and maybe healing, especially with issues from the past. We also have a sextile to the North Node, which means it's opening opportunities for your future. This sort of healing is creating a sense of competence when it comes to stepping out of your comfort zone and getting into more challenging situations in your life. So you're really progress oriented is what I'm saying. You've got a long-term square to Neptune, which means there's a lot of creativity that's popping off. Just things about you or a level of creativity that you may not be normally used to. This is long-term for the next couple of years. So definitely this sense of just use that energy, tap into it, because that's when it really remains positive. It could be very distracting and disillusioning if you don't use it. On the 21st, if you are at the cusp, if you are at the cusp of between Gemini and Cancer. So say your birthday is June 21st or 22nd. It's especially you guys, maybe up through June 20th. On the 15th, because your natal suns are trine to Mars. Even though you're Gemini, you're so close to Cancer that they're trine to Mars, because Mars is only at 2 degrees on the 2 degree Scorpio on that on in those first couple of days, or on the 15th. So your natal suns are trine to Mars conjunct the moon. What does this mean? Well, this is tough energy, because Mars conjunct the moon is square to Pluto. So there's a lot of extreme angry energy. But for you guys, there is a tranquility, a release, and a healing that will come about. And this will create a permanent easement for you. Your natal suns on the 21st, your natal suns are also quincunx to Pluto. So what does this mean? You can really exact change, especially, like, in other words, it's almost like you can spur on change and create a sense of change that will could be very helpful to situations around this time. And on the 21st, when Pluto conjuncts the moon, sort of the same thing, this energy of spurring on this catalyst or release of energy. It won't consume you. There is a level of consciousness here that you can definitely direct so that it can sort of help or inspire or push people into the direction that you want them to go. It'll just make your ideas that much more powerful. If you are at the cusp of Cancer and Gemini and Cancer. Your natal suns are also trying to Saturn right now because Saturn is just so close to that Pisces edge. It's at 0 degrees Pisces. That's also sort of an easement with your own personal responsibility, your own limitations versus your own capabilities. It's a real beautiful energy of personal authority. So you might actually take on a lot of leadership or be looked to for a lot of advice and insight and what do we do now? This is really the time for you to step up this week. All right, I love you guys so much. And if this has helped you or it's interesting to you, please like the video and share it with people that you would think would like it too. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so we grow here on Astrology Motivation. All right, Geminis, let's go into Cancers. So Cancerians, there's a lot. The moon is very, very active and interacting very powerfully this week and really creating some major energy. So let's go through this relatively slowly. Once again, we have nothing big going on in Cancer. Like nothing is in there conjuncting your natal suns. But there's a lot of stuff going on with your ruling dignitary, the moon. Let's talk about it. By the 15th, the moon is going to be in Scorpio. And on the 15th, the moon conjuncts Mars in Scorpio, and it is square to Pluto. This is powerful emotions, intense anger, and rage is likely. Pop offish and violent. This is really something you have to understand and accept about this energy and be very conscious of so that you can defuse any bombs around yourself or inside of yourself that day. All week, so during this on the 15th, while the moon is conjunct Mars, it is square to Pluto, but it is also trine to Saturn. And that actually makes me feel really happy because the trine to Saturn will ground or at least give an outlet or a conduit for this very volatile energy. Moon trine Saturn is very solid or solidifies the emotions, brings them into the consciousness and puts them a little bit more under control. So there is intention here. There is intention and ability to kind of catch yourself that I really like. I think it's very helpful, especially for Cancerians. Still a very volatile day, and anything that you act out upon, say, do, could leave permanent impact on people. Could you use this to your advantage? Yes, but I also think that that's expert level shit. Just an FYI. By the 17th, the moon moves into Sagittarius. Excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. So at this time, on the 17th, the moon is going to trine Chiron. This is a lovely energy for healing and, connecting with those parts of yourself to sort of heal and ease out any kind of past suffering or challenges. By the 19th, the sun is going to, wait, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, so let's move on. On the 19th, the moon is going to sextile or be sextile to the sun conjunction to Mercury. So that's a lot of emotional clarity. There's also a square to Neptune that's happening at that time with the moon as well. The moon will still be in Sagittarius at this time, but that will give you a lot of emotional clarity and a way to sort of consciously bring the subconscious and the intuitive into consciousness and to really kind of sort of enlighten yourself or be able to easily communicate what you're feeling to others. Or even what you're divining or intuitively understanding through your psyche to others. Great day to communicate those emotions or those insights. Also on the 19th, the moon is going to move into Capricorn. On the 19th, this will eventually form a grand trine with Venus and Jupiter. Now, this is a very lovely, lovely day for especially Cancer ones that are born between the June 28th and July 3rd. Those of you in particular, I know Cancer ones, it goes into Cancer twos. So, but it's those days. If you're born between the 28th and the 28th of June and the 3rd of July, especially for you guys, this is forming a really nice aspect, really stimulate healing and release. Especially a lovely day for you, but I think we'll all feel it because the moon, there will be an easement and a certainty and a tranquility and a loveliness about the energy that day. So it is definitely a day of healing, but especially for Cancerians born June 28th through the 3rd of July. Now, on October 21st, the moon conjuncts Pluto. And at that time, it is going to be square the sun conjunction to Mercury. Words, especially angry words, powerful. They will make an impact and a permanent impact at that. This is a major frickin' warning so that you know your emotions can lead you to say things, angry things, or get into conflict here that can definitely result in physical injury because of the energy with Pluto. So this is just something like, if you say things and you say words in anger, people will not forget them. It could make permanent impact on this day. FYI. It's the moon that is conjunct Pluto. This is very emotional and taking things to the extreme. And square to the sun conjunct Mercury, those words and your thoughts will be bought out. You'll say them. So this can be a very pop-off-ish energy. It's good to sort of diffuse the situation by trying to remain self-healing, self-caring, and anything that will not trigger you, right? Just an FYI. That's the 21st. So the days to really be aware of with major triggers are the 15th and the 21st for all of us. Let's go into the decans, shall we? So let me go slowly because I write things down. You guys know me by now. I write things down and it's like a doctor. I can't even read my own handwriting. So Cancer ones, if you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Cancer, that's you guys. This correlates to primarily June Cancerians. So Cancerians born on the Gemini cusp. So between the 2nd of June, the 22nd of June through say about the 1st of July. Okay. Your energy, if you're at the cusp, so those of you born June 22nd, 23rd especially, your natal suns are going to be trine the sun on the 19th, and they're going to be trine to Mercury on the 19th. This is really beautiful energy. This is really nice energy. It's really helpful energy. It's really productive energy. It's really nice energy. Oh, okay. When I said cusps, I apologize. I take that back. When I say cusps, I meant the cusp. I didn't mean Cancer Gemini cusps. I meant the cusp between Cancer 1 and Cancer 2. So I forget about that. It's actually, especially those of you born around the 27th and 28th of June, all the way maybe through the 30th, 31st. Like, it's those of you who are going to experience this trine to Mercury and the sun on that day, this really beautiful day where the moon will come into a grand trine with Venus and Jupiter. This could be a really stimulating day, a day where there's a day that stimulates healing and release for you guys, especially. All of you, through the 19th of October, your natal suns are sextile to Venus. So what is that? That's very sexy energy. It's very harmonious energy. It's very playful and confident energy. It's really lovely energy, beautiful energy, and things could work out very well with money right now. We also have a trine to Saturn, so especially money, finances, work, jobs, or people taking you seriously and valuing you being attracted. This would be a great day to sort of, apply for a role or something like this. This is nice energy for you this week. That trine to Saturn is lasting all year long. But with the sextile to Venus, especially after the 17th, where Venus is out of range of an opposition to Saturn, this really will open things up for you. And this is just nice energy, helpful energy. Your natal suns are also trine to Mars. So on the 15th, your natal suns are going to be trine to the moon conjunction to Mars, which is square to Pluto. Release and confrontation for you guys, but the release and confrontation will actually help you release energy. that needs to be released. This energy of, okay, now that it's out, it's actually getting better and helping me to heal. Cusps only. You have a quincunx. Also on the you have a quincunx to Pluto conjunct the moon on the 21st. So there could be, and you have a trine to Mercury conjunct the sun. So all that together, what does that mean? Information that motivates you, spurs you on, or makes you take action coming into you. But it is informative and it is definitely directive. So it's actually very useful. Could be a very useful day. So overall, I think for Cancer ones, this is a very productive week for you guys. And those trigger points could actually be kind of healing, or things can ease out. It's almost like release that you need with tension that's been building. So that's really good. Let's move on to Cancer 2s. So if you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Cancer, that's you guys. This correlates to birthdays between, say, July 2nd and maybe up through the 11th. Your natal suns are sextile to Venus from the 19th of October onward. Your natal suns are also sextile to Jupiter all week long. Venus is trine to Jupiter all week long, or pretty much all week long. So especially after the 17th, but especially after the 19th. So the end of the week, this is looking real fucking nice for you. I'm telling you right now, sextile to Jupiter and sextile to Venus, this is optimistic. This is abundance, happy surprises coming through for you. End of this week into next week, really beautiful energy. You also have a long-term square to Chiron, so this is long-term though. I don't think this is really going to really impact you a lot this week, but overall, say over the next year, there's just a lot of challenges that are coming up, making you feel like life is extra hard, but ultimately there is this sense of you will win on the other side, because it's your training ground. It's strengthening you. It's saying it's preparing you for something big, like a leveling up. So really beautiful end of the week, and next week should be an exceptionally productive and prosperous week for you. Now, Cancer 3s. This is a tough week for you guys. I'm just gonna lay it on the line. This is for those of you born between, if your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Cancer. This is Cancer 3s. You definitely experienced the most impact when it came to this solar eclipse that happened on the 14th, and it doesn't stop there. Let's keep going. This correlates to birthdays between, say, the 12th and the 22nd of July. Your natal suns are square to Mercury conjunct the sun all week long. What you say will be held against you. This is difficult or challenging energy, or difficult or challenging news will come in. Mars conjunct the moon on the 15th. Your natal suns are square to that. What does that mean? That means there's a lot of tension and a lot of anger and a lot of frustration that can really be built up. A lot of pugilistic energy there. So it's really important on that day, prepare for self-care. Prepare for self-care. Now, the square to Mercury conjunct the sun is also conjunct the south node on the 21st, because your natal suns, especially at the cusp, are opposite Pluto and square the nodes. So on the 21st, this could be really bad news concerning the past, or a really tough week for you. Or really tough conversations that you're having because of the past, because of situations that are coming out of your past with regards to your childhood. Whatever this is like a confrontation of the past. Information comes in, words are exchanged. This is tough, challenging energy, and since your natal suns have been in opposition to Pluto all year long, this could make some permanent change or impact on you or your life. It's really important for you guys, especially around the 21st, to take really great care of yourselves. You have a semi-square to Venus all week long, which is also kind of like needling energy when it comes to money or romance or desires. So energy that is kind of like nagging at you. And then we also have long-term sextile to Uranus and trine to Neptune. This is long-term and playing out in the background in relationship to the opposition to Pluto. So ultimately there's a lot of churn here when it comes to change and innovation with your personal life and your person and who you are and what you see yourself as over the next couple of years. FYI, so especially Cancerian threes. This is very different. This is a very different week for you than it is for Cancer 1 or 2. And especially for you guys, especially around the cusp, because your cusp is already opposite Pluto. And there's a lot of interaction between Pluto and Mars this week, and twice. Pluto on the 21st will conjunct, the moon will conjunct Pluto on the 21st, the moon will conjunct Mars on the 15th. So between the 15th and the 21st, there's a lot of fucking energy there that is pop-offish, angry, and hurtful. Could even be physical pain. So please take good care of yourselves. Do leave the comments below. I would love to know how this energy is impacting you guys. And share this with a friend if you found it helpful. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you've just found your way here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming by, and I will see you guys in the videos. All right, so we have Leo. Leos. I gotta write down for the timestamps, you know? Leos. Nothing is really going on in Leo itself. No big thing is happening in the zodiac sign of Leo, so there's no major conjunctions with any of your suns. But once again, this week will be impactful for a certain group of you, and that is Leo 1s, especially Cancer cuspers. There's a lot of tension that's happening. You want to go back and listen to Cancer 3s? It's the same thing for you guys because you're experiencing the same energy, especially if you're born, say, July 23rd, 24th. Especially you guys around that cusp. Very tense energy. You're going to be in opposition to Pluto and you're going to be square to Mars. This is not a great position. You really don't want to be in it, but you don't have much of a choice. There's a lot of pop-offish, angry, and potentially dangerous or injurious energy in that energy. So we're going to talk about it for you guys especially. Now for everybody, let's talk about the sun. Where is the sun? Well, the sun is still in Libra, and it is moving between the 22 degrees and 28 degrees this week. This is the last full week of Libra season. Next week, the sun is going to be moving into Scorpio. So the sun is conjunct to Mercury all week long. This is brilliant and bright energy. This is really having personal authority over your thoughts, being able to communicate yourself very well. And on the flip side, everybody's going to hear what you say. And whatever you put out there, people will see. So be very cautious that it represents the best parts of you. You also have a conjunction to the south. The sun is also conjuncting the south node. So there's a lot of energy dealing with who you were from the past. So what you have said in the past can be brought up, or you could remind people of it, or it could be thrown up in your face. Just an FYI. All week long, the sun is square to Pluto. This is intense energy, right? This is a sense of having a real formidable energy and powerful impact on people and very little patience in general, not taking no bullshit. That can be both a good thing or a bad thing. It's always an intimidating thing. So all week long, this could really reflect upon you as well. Anything that you say can and will be used against you, or it will make permanent impact. Once again, that could be also very powerful and productive for you, but you've got to take a lot of personal responsibility with it. The sun is in opposition to Chiron through the 17th as it moves through Libra. So especially up through the first couple of days this week, there could be a lot of energy that's self-defensive because you feel more self-conscious about yourself. So you're more inclined in the beginning of the week to be pop-offish and defensive in areas where you normally wouldn't because your self-esteem is compromised. Just an FYI. Through the 17th, also your natal sun, the sun itself is going to be trine to Saturn, which is really helpful because it does ground you and it gives you a sense of personal authority. So even though the feelings from the opposition to Chiron may be generating self-doubt, there is also the ability to sort of be objective with it and grow from it. And then we have the sun all week long is a semi-square to Venus, which can just be almost like a spur in the side, a sense of nagging, like something is inspiring you or pushing you that relates to your desires, right? It's like nagging you. It won't let up. Like that nagging feeling, especially around it could be financial nagging, could be your relationships nagging, but something like that. This is between the sun, in not your natal sun, but the sun and Venus. So let's see how everything is interacting with your natal sun in particular. So Leo ones, it's especially you guys, if your natal suns are between 0 and 9 degrees Leo. This correlates to July Leos. So those of you born July, say 22nd through the 31st, this would be you guys. So your natal suns are square to Mars. On the 15th, Mars conjuncts the moon. And Mars is also square to Pluto. If you're at the cusp, so July 22nd, 23rd, 24th, if that's your birthday, I can say this right now, this is a really fucking rough day for you. A rough day, explosive anger, aggression likely, and it will leave a permanent impact since you are in opposition to Pluto. This is something that you need to be aware of and know. You also have a long-term quincunx to Saturn, so agitation with the laws, rules, and regulations. This could cause, it's not really that big of a deal in and of itself, but it could, with the added tension, it could really create a lot of extra tension. On the 21st, especially if you're the cusps, there's an opposition to the moon conjunct Pluto. Extreme emotions. You will take everything to the extreme. It is an opposition to your natal suns. So this could also be a very contentious day as well. It's something that you have to be aware of. Let's move on to Leo 2. If you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Leo, that's you guys. This correlates to Leo birthdays between, say, August 1st and the 11th. Your natal suns are square to Jupiter and trine to Chiron. This is really optimistic about healing, and you could be inspired to grow by learning new philosophies, new cultures, or even traveling. This sense of kind of being inspired to think outside of your normal and learn from people from different countries, different cultures. This sense of expansive healing. Could be holistic healing. It could be sharing what you know and learning from each other's challenges. All of those things over the next couple of months, especially while your natal suns are square to Jupiter. You guys are pretty much safe from a lot of the tension. We got to move on to Leo 3s. If you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Leo, you guys are Leo 3s. This correlates to birthdays between, say, August 12th and the 22nd. Your natal suns are sextile to the sun, sextile to Mercury, and sextile to the south node all week long. On the 15th, your natal suns are going to be sextile to Mars, conjunct the moon, and quincunx Pluto. What does this mean? You will realize, it's very future focused, so you will realize the seriousness of a situation or how important something is. And that realization can open up a lot of opportunities for you. It's almost like insider trading, but not illegal. This sense of suddenly things will occur to you. You'll understand how fucking really important something is. And honestly, it could lead to doors opening for you, or for you to take action that will help progress in your life. On the 15th, your natal suns are trine the north node, so there's an easement or almost a happiness or a healing when it comes to the sense of you're getting more comfortable with what used to repulse you. You're getting more comfortable with sort of the opposite of your comfort zone. It's starting to become more familiar with you. You have a long-term square to Uranus, and if you're at the cusp between Leo and Virgo, your natal suns are also in opposition to Saturn. What does this mean? Opposition to Saturn can make you feel oppressed. It can make you take things too seriously. It can make you feel like nobody takes you too seriously. But since there's also a square with Uranus, opposition to Saturn, you're dealing with a lot of generational issues. You're dealing with a lot of generational issues, especially with regards to the patriarchy, your grandfather, your father. Whatever they are, they're causing challenges, and they're trying to teach you to grow and take your own personal authority and establish your own identity. It's just that these are challenging energies, and the challenge will remain at least for the next couple of months while Saturn is in opposition to your natal suns. You let me know how this energy is impacting you guys. I would love to know. If you know somebody that would think this is valuable, this information is valuable, please do share this video with them. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the videos. Bye, Leo. All right, so now we move on to Virgo. All right, Virgos, let's do this. So Venus is in Virgo. What's going on in Virgo? Venus is in Virgo. She's moving between 5 degrees and 11 degrees this week. So she's basically toward the end of Virgo ones. But for most of this week, she is going to be conjunct the natal suns of Virgo ones. Well, let's talk about what your ruling dignitary is doing. Your ruling dignitary is Mercury. It is in Libra, and it's moving really fast between 19 and 29 degrees. It is conjunct the sun all week long. Very powerful energy, especially, I would say, on the 15th when, and I'm sorry, not on the 15th, especially on the 21st, when Mercury is conjunct the sun, also conjunct the south node, and it squares off with Pluto. And the moon, basically on the 21st, this is when Mercury and the sun are conjunct, and Pluto and the moon conjunct. And this is when that squares off. So the things that are in the consciousness, or it's like a memory from the past comes into consciousness and makes a huge conflict with what was in the subconscious, could dynamically change, or you could have a very emotional reaction to it. We also have Mercury square to Pluto through the 17th, and we have no, it's square to Pluto all week long. I'm sorry. And Mercury is trine to Saturn after the 18th. So, no, I'm sorry. So Mercury is really, really tightly square to Pluto by the 17th. That's what I meant to say. And trine to Saturn by the 18th. So especially toward the end of the week, your words are going to be very powerful and taken very seriously, Virgo. Let's go into the decans. So Virgo ones, if you know your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Virgo, you guys are Virgo ones. This correlates to birthdays, basically August Virgos. Anyone born between August 22nd and the 31st. This is Virgo ones. Your natal suns are conjunct to Venus through the 19th. If you are born between the 30th of August and the 2nd of September, this is all week long for you that Venus is going to be conjunct your natal suns. You guys are going to be sextile to Mars, which means that on the 15th, you're sextile to Mars conjunct the moon, quincunx to, and your natal suns are quincunx to Pluto. This could bring up a lot of passion, actually. This could be very passionate energy, and you could see some major breakthroughs because your passion is expressed. So for you, this could be a very good thing, a very good release. And your natal suns are in opposition to Saturn, which will put a kind of grounding energy on you. And even though it may seem irritating right now, it's very stabilizing with all this other crazy energy going on. So what I put here is on the 15th, Your natal suns are sextile to Mars conjunct the moon, and they are, while simultaneously, your natal suns are quincunx Pluto. So you might really be, get under someone's skin. Your words will be powerful and make major impact. This will more than likely work out for you, but it is definitely not necessarily going to work out for somebody else. Just an FYI, very powerful day of the week for you on the 15th with words. Let's go on to Virgo 2s. Virgo 2s, your natal suns from the 19th on are going to be conjunct to Virgo. But if you are, your natal sun is between, say, August 1st, August 2nd especially, your natal suns are going to be conjunct to Venus all week long. This is very passionate and powerful energy in terms of your sensuality. People will think you look good. You could be a little extra vain at this point. You could be a little extra bold and confident. It is really very nice energy, though you could get a little cocky, but it is really nice and attractive energy. But your natal suns are semi-square to the sun, Mercury conjunction, so agitating words or words that annoy people. This could just happen all week long, especially with regards to vanity. FYI. Somebody could just misconstrue your words as being too vain. And then we have that trine to Jupiter, which could make you extra optimistic and feel extra good about yourself. And ultimately that, I mean, especially with this semi-square to the sun and semi-square to Mercury, you're gonna talk. You're gonna have a big mouth really this week, and you could really get under somebody's skin, especially with your confidence could be misconstrued easily as arrogance. Now that energy could easily also be used to motivate people and to stimulate people, so it could be used in a good way too. You just have to be very conscientious of other people's energy in order to make sure that you're directing it in a good way. Just FYI, because it's going to be very powerful. Let's move on to Virgo 3s. So Virgo 3s, you have your natal suns. So this is your natal suns would be between 20 and 29 degrees Virgo. This correlates to Virgo birthdays between September 12th through the 26th. The September 12th through the 22nd. Your natal suns are trine to Pluto. That's long term. So this is an easement when it comes to personal power and personal authority and people kind of feeling comfortable with taking leadership from you. Like not taking it from you, but allowing you to lead. And there's also a trine to Uranus with you guys as well. So this is really poignant, powerful energy. You are definitely people that can make change and inspire change and lead the way. You also have an opposition to Neptune, which is highly stimulating your creativity. Yes, very much so. On the 21st, your natal suns are going to be trine to the moon Pluto conjunction. This could offer emotional release of toxic emotions and help make room for healing for you, or you could be helping make room for others, healing for others. So that's actually a very healing energy for you guys, very powerful in sort of that rebalancing, recalibrating kind of way. I love you guys so much, and I hope you've understood everything. Please feel free to leave your comments below. If you've liked this video, be sure to like it and share it with people that you think would like it as well. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that we can grow here on Astrology Motivation. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the videos. Bye.